Today, we are joined by lifelong music journalist Katherine Turman. In a lot of ways, Katherine was an inspiration to me as a kid growing up. I used to see her name in Rip magazine. If you remember Rip magazine, it was definitely one of the better ones. Came along after Hit Parader, Circus, Metal Edge. Rip was a contender. It was, in my opinion, it was sort of the new gold standard when it finally came out. She was at the helm during the late 80s, early 90s. She was a staff editor, made her way all the way up to editor-in-chief during her tenure there. She's interviewed countless rock stars. She has spent the past 20 years working for Alice Cooper. She is the producer of Alice's radio show. It's now called Alice's Attic. It used to be called Nights with Alice Cooper. She is a producer on that show, works very closely with Alice Cooper. Lots of great stories today about her and Alice and their working relationship. She's also the co-author of a 2013 book called Louder Than Hell, The Definitive Oral History of Metal. And it came out in 2013. It's about 768 pages, features a bunch of interviews with all kinds of...
That's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. She's a co-author with John Wiederhorn. John is also a well-known journalist in his own right. I think he wrote for Guitar Magazine, Revolver. I think he also spent some time at Rip Magazine.
Yes.
So both of these writers, very well established and lots of credentials, and therefore they've got a ton of interviews in this book, Louder Than Hell. And so her freelance credits include Rolling Stone, Spin, Esquire, Village Voice. She's been doing this for a very long time. She's very good at it, and it was really fun.
I've got stacks of those, butt rock magazines in storage, and I'm sure you do too.
Oh yeah.
And the handful of interviews that we did, probably circa 89 through probably 91, they're in there. So it would maybe once in person, she interviewed maybe Mark and Mike from the Toys, and then on the phone with me, and she grew up in Los Angeles area, so she knows everybody, she's interviewed everybody, and kind of an important figure when you just mention, the things that you've mentioned. And then to top it off with Louder Than Hell, which is this big hardback book, still available, certainly.
Yeah. I think there's even a paperback version of it available.
Oh, good. Okay.
Now.
Yeah, Louder Than Hell. Everyone go get a copy of that. It's got all your favorite artists in there, all heavy metal folk in there. It's their words, unedited, pretty much unedited, over 700 pages. So that's good. But, you'll find that me and Dave periodically are egging Katherine on to write another one. And inadvertently, we're not really trying to give her ideas, but she seemed to be getting some ideas and inspired. So I feel good about that. And then we did talk about her article in Polestar, tribute to junkyard singer David Roach, our good buddy who has recently passed away, who will be sorely missed. And the article is heartfelt and incredible, and in my opinion, stronger than the Rolling Stone piece, the New York Times piece, etc., put together. So I know I'm creating some big words here, but I think
Katherine's well connected, growing up in Los Angeles, and she did a great job. Polestar.com, look up the tribute to David Roach.
Yeah.
Katherine wrote that. I should also mention she was also a producer on Rockline, for those of you that remember the syndicated radio talk show Rockline they used to.
That information is for people of a certain age.
Yeah,
if you've heard of Rockline, then that's going back a little bit. So
it's going back a little bit, but in my research today, I found out that it went off the air in 2014. So it lasted for quite a while.
Yeah, and I think that the sort of digital version was, the not live version, the version that was just kind of put together in a room and then broadcast. Katherine was involved in that, producing that.
Yeah.
I don't think she was involved when it was live. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it started in 1981. I remember as a little kid listening to it. And the cool thing about Rockline, if you're old enough to remember, is they would bring rock bands into the studio and actually interview them on the air, and then they would allow callers to call in and ask questions. And that all seems very commonplace now, and in some ways it even seems antiquated. But back then, that was a big deal, because really the only place, you didn't have MTV, you didn't have YouTube, so the only place you heard interviews with bands was, you saw it in print in a magazine once a month or something like that. So to hear them speaking on air and taking questions and being interviewed by a host was really cool. So
and Katherine Turman working for Rockline, in a later version of it, and now producing Alice Cooper's radio show. Well, who do you think probably Rockline was interviewing in the mid '80s? Alice Cooper. Yeah. He was probably on Rockline back then. So it's probably full circle, and she's super cool, man.
Yeah. I as a journalist myself, I really respect and appreciate her career. She's been in print for decades. She's been in radio for decades. She's kind of done it all, and then even co-wrote a book. So that's a lot to be proud of.
Now she's to up the ante and make her even cooler. She works for Metal Blade Records now.
That's right. Yeah. We didn't even get into that.
No, she mentioned it, but it wasn't something that we dug in and, tell us what your day-to-day is working at Metal Blade. Probably working side by side with Tracy Vera, Joey Vera's wife, who's now the president of Metal Blade Records. So,
yeah. Someone like Katherine, you get talking and you just, the stories start coming out, and there's no way you're going to cover all her accomplishments. She's done so much. So, it was really great to have her. Great stories, great career. Katherine Turman today on the Talk Louder podcast.